Some say age is just a number, but your cells might disagree. As the years roll by, our bodies accumulate tiny insults, oxidative stress, low-grade inflammation, and DNA damage that slowly chip away at our vitality. But what if a generous splash of color on your plate, say, blueberries, a square of dark chocolate, or a cup of green tea, could help keep your cells cool under pressure? Welcome to the world of polyphenol and more specifically flavonoids, the plant compounds that give your food its punch and your aging process a little more poise. Polyphenol are the bioactive compounds found in a colorful buffet of plant-based foods. Flavonoids, a major subclass, are especially abundant in berries, onions, apples, cocoa, citrus, tea, and even red wine. Yes, that one glass might be pulling some molecular weight. While they're not technically vitamins or essential nutrients, they've earned their seat at the aging table by showing remarkable powers in reducing inflammation, supporting brain function, and protecting cells from stress-induced damage. Over the past 2 decades, longitudinal studies have begun painting a tantalizing portrait. People with higher flavonoid intake tend to age better. They have fewer chronic diseases, sharper cognition, lower risk of dementia, and greater physical function in late life. And they don't just live longer, they live better, with more mobility, independence, and energy. That's not immortality, but it's a pretty good retirement plan. Let's start with inflammation, the molecular party crasher of aging. Chronic low-grade inflammation, what researchers now call inflammaging, is implicated in nearly every age-related disease, from heart disease and type 2 diabetes to arthritis and Alzheimer's. Flavonoids counter this process on multiple levels. They inhibit inflammatory enzymes, block pro-inflammatory gene expression, and protect blood vessels from oxidative damage. Translation: they're like tiny fire extinguishers for the molecular sparks that wear you down. Cognitive aging may be where flavonoids shine brightest. In the Harvard-based Nurses' Health Study, women who consumed the most flavonoid-rich foods had significantly slower rates of cognitive decline over 20 years compared to those with the lowest intake. Another major study, the Rush Memory and Aging Project, found that older adults who ate at least one serving of berries per week had better memory scores and slower cognitive aging, equivalent to being 2.5 years younger in brain age. If that sounds like magic, it's really more like maintenance. Flavonoids improve cerebral blood flow, reduce neuroinflammation, and may even stimulate the birth of new neurons in aging brains. Not bad for a handful of blueberries. But what about the deeper cellular level? Enter telomeres and oxidative stress. Telomeres, the protective caps at the ends of your chromosomes, shorten as you age, and shorter telomeres are linked to earlier disease onset and mortality. Some observational studies suggest that diets rich in polyphenol correlate with longer telomeres, hinting at a possible link between flavonoid intake and delayed biological aging. It's not conclusive yet. Telomere biology is notoriously tricky, but the trend points toward a modest, measurable benefit. And let's not forget endothelial health, the plumbing of aging. Flavonoids, especially those in tea, cocoa, and dark berries, help maintain vascular flexibility and blood pressure control by boosting nitric oxide availability. This matters because your brain, heart, and muscles all rely on efficient blood flow, and stiffened vessels are a fast track to frailty. So while sipping green tea might not turn back the clock, it does keep the pipes from rusting. Critics might argue that we can't isolate polyphenol from the broader diet, that people who eat berries and dark chocolate are also likely doing other healthy things, like exercising, not smoking, or choosing kale over chips. Fair enough. But randomized controlled trials are catching up, showing that even in controlled settings, flavonoid supplementation or dietary interventions can improve vascular function, reduce inflammatory markers, and support cognitive performance in older adults. Not a miracle, but a consistent nudge in the right direction. So, should you start measuring your flavonoid intake in milligrams and hoarding blueberries like doomsday seeds? Probably not. The beauty of polyphenol is that they come built into a naturally diverse, plant-forward diet. The more colorful, bitter, tart, and aromatic your food, the better your polyphenol game. It's nature's way of saying, eat the rainbow, but maybe skip the Skittles. In the end, flavonoid-rich diets aren't a fountain of youth, but they might be a gentle, berry-scented stream that carries you toward a longer health span. If healthy aging is a team sport, polyphenol are the quiet MVPs. Not flashy, not loud, but always showing up when it counts. So go ahead, steep that green tea, nibble that dark chocolate, and toss an extra handful of berries on your oatmeal. Your mitochondria might just write you a thank you note.